Hello everyone, welcome back to TechRill. In today's episode, we are looking at GitHub Copilot usage with Bicep development. Bicep simplifies infrastructure as code for Azure, and with GitHub Copilot, writing Bicep templates becomes faster, smarter, and more efficient. We will explore how Copilot assists in the development of Bicep scripts. Let us jump right in and see how Copilot supports Bicep development. Let us start by creating a simple Bicep file. Create a Bicep file for provisioning a resource group. So as you all know, resource group is the initial step for any Azure provisioning. You need a resource group existing or a new one. And here I am going for a resource group and a VM inside this resource group. So this is my requirement. Asking Copilot to come up with a Bicep file for provisioning the resource group and a VM inside this resource group. This is our first exploration of how Copilot will help us with Bicep creation. The file is ready. Let us create the file main.bicep. It came with the resource group and the virtual machine inside that resource group. It's taken the RG entity for location, name and everything. Either you can go ahead with this approach, or instead of a file, most of the time Bicep will be captured as a script project. So I can take it as create a Bicep script for provisioning resource group and a VM inside the resource group, and I am asking to add these resources as modules. So that will help me for future expandability. In this case, I am expecting Copilot to come up with the complete structure. There is a Bicep script for resources as modules, and it's created two module files, that is a Bicep and virtual machine.bicep. So it's coming up with one after the other, the structure kind of thing. If I feel that it needs to give me the project structure altogether, I can use /new with the same prompt. Here it's provided the proposed structure along with the files. I can go ahead and create the project. The Copilot is going to generate the project with predefined files, the main file and the modules for resource group and virtual machine provisioning. Once the project is available, you can expand it further. For example, I can ask Copilot to add new module for a web service provisioning. So here right now we have a resource group and a virtual machine, but I am asking Copilot to provision a web service that has a new module. It's modified first the main.bicep with a third module for web service, and then provided a resource group module and virtual machine and the web service. Especially we need this module. So I just take web service.bicep for adding here and take all the code into this. This is the web service, and the main obviously need a modification to invoke this particular one. Let me go ahead and quickly add the main for replace with this one. So resource group, virtual machine and the web service. As part of this, it's changed some of the parameters. That's why it's provided the resource group. There are params are defined. If you look at here, there is no parameters right now. As part of the new structure, there is parameters are defined on top, and still the scope is missing. That is why it's showing a error message. So I can define the scope to close the errors. But this is how you can generate a simple Bicep file or a structure of the Bicep with the modules defined it and add new modules into the existing Bicep project. For example, if I want to expand it further, this is not a recommended approach for defining all the variables with the hard-coded values. Instead, I can ask Copilot to extract all variables and define the parameters file. So I need a parameters file which can hold all my variable values. Whenever I go for a deployment, I will be passing parameters as part of the parameters file instead of hard coding the values as part of each of the Bicep modules. So Copilot segregated all the params on top and replace all the hard-coded values with these params. Parameters.json file, which normally we add as another folder under parameters, add a parameters.json and extracted values are here. So whenever we deploy this Bicep, we can pass these parameters. Maybe for each of the environment, these parameters will be different. You can just modify the parameters file with the new values and deploy the underlying Bicep. Great. We have created a Bicep file. We have created a Bicep project structure. We did some extraction of parameters file, added a new module. But in most of the cases, you will be receiving your network resources or the target deployment environment resource requirements in the form of a diagram. In such cases, we can use the vision capability of Copilot to extract the file details. For example, I am passing one of the architecture diagram and asking Copilot to create Bicep script for attached diagram. Here, I have a diagram and asking Copilot to create a Bicep script for that. It came with a detailed description, and if you notice on top, you can see that there is a VNet with the 2 subnets and a VM, web application, storage account. These are the things it's defining. So virtual network security groups, network interfaces, virtual machine, and server farms for web application, that is an app service plan, and the corresponding site a storage account. And the details are provided here. And if you look at our drawing, it's a hand drawing with a one virtual network with the 2 subnets and a VM and web application connected to a storage account. This entire element is captured as part of our Bicep. For example, you need some more details like get a feel of this diagram first before even creating the Bicep. So you can give the diagram and ask Copilot to explain the resource requirements in this diagram. So get a feel of the diagram or understand different resource requirements captured as part of the diagram. Then go ahead and create the Bicep so that it will help you to even fix any kind of Bicep level code issues. Here it's identified 6 different elements, a VNet, 2 subnets, 1 virtual machine, a web application, talking to a storage account, and a firewall at the interface, the communication level. So these are the 6 elements required and the resource requirements in terms of how this needs to be talked each other. This is a hand-drawn diagram. Sometimes we get more complex diagrams, something like this one. Let me just ask Copilot to create a Bicep script for the attached diagram. Again, same prompt, but the diagram is very complex and taken directly from the Azure architecture website. This diagram contains a list of requirements in terms of AKS cluster, node count, the node size and the different other matrices. So it start deploying or coming up with even the Cosmos DB. There is no word called Cosmos, but only the indication of this particular symbol indicate we are using Cosmos DB. That is also captured. Prometheus is there. It is here. Prometheus is there. Elasticsearch is there. So that component is captured here. Elasticsearch is also captured. Key vault is coming down, and the app insights, it's part of the monitor component. Everything is captured in detail and given an explanation as well. You can take the initial Bicep and enhance it further. Now going back to our main.bicep, once the Bicep is ready, we may look for support for creating a verification script. Let us see how Copilot is able to create the test scripts for this Bicep file. So all the infrastructure as code modules, so whatever the technology you use, you need to test it or verify it. Here it came up with a test script for this particular Bicep, that is a main.bicep. I may be using the pester, already it's configured. Using that technology, we are able to validate this Bicep scripts. So if you have doubt on how do I run this test, you can ask even Copilot to get the details, how to run, and any kind of setup is required. All the information is provided by Copilot. Along with the Copilot, I have used another extension from Microsoft. It's Bicep. This will help us to validate the script. So if you notice in main and all, you have a script level errors is pointing out. This is because of this Bicep extension. Also, this extension provides different functionality for deploying the Bicep file directly from your VS Code to target Azure subscription. Show the deployment details as part of VS Code itself. And you have the visualizers as well. So let us see how it visualizes this main. In the main, you have a resource group that consists of a virtual machine and a web service setup with a web app and app service plan. So it's nicely plotted or visualized your main.bicep. You have all these supporting functionalities coming from Bicep extension. Use Bicep extension and Copilot to quickly and efficiently develop Bicep scripts for your target deployment environments. Try it out and share your feedback. Thank you.